Welcome everyone. This is your own channel Learner Saga. In this video we will discuss the prose piece Packing by Jerome K. Jerome. The story Packing is taken from Three Men in a Boat by Jerome Klapka Jerome. Before we start, I like to request you to press the like button, to subscribe the channel if you are new, and also to share and comment. So without wasting any time, let's begin. Packing. I said I would pack. Students, see here. The story, as I told you, is taken from Three Men in a Boat. This is the main story, and this present story is an abridged form of the same thing, same piece. Packing. Here the story is about the three friends, our narrator and the two others, namely George and Harris. Here the narrator said I would pack. I rather pride myself on my packing. That means the narrator boasts of himself. See here, I rather pride myself on my packing. The meaning is given here. Pride myself on means I am proud of. Packing is one of those many things that I feel I know more about than any other person living. The narrator also says that according to him, he is the best packer in the world. It surprises me myself sometimes how many such things there are. I impressed the fact upon George and Harris and told them that they had better leave the whole matter entirely to me. And the narrator impressed the fact upon George and Harris. Here impressed means he conveyed this fact to his two friends, George and Harris. And the narrator told them that they had better leave the whole matter entirely to him. That means he will himself do the everything regarding packing. They fell into the suggestion with a readiness, and as soon as I told them, they agreed. They fell into means they agreed, as it is given here in your book, accepted or agreed. And they fell into the suggestion with a readiness that had something uncanny about it. Uncanny means anything that is mysterious, strange. Okay, so as the two friends accepted my suggestion very promptly, I found some uncanny about that. That means some strange thing about that. George spread himself over the easy chair and Harris cocked his legs on the table. So you can understand here, as soon as the narrator told that I will do everything regarding packing, the two other friends said, okay, you do. And the first one, George, he spread himself over the easy chair in a relaxing mood. And Harris, he cocked his legs on the table. Cocked means here, he just raised his legs on the table. This was hardly what I intended. See students, here the word is hardly. See, I have underlined this, hardly. Hardly is a negative word. Hardly, scarcely, rarely, all these are negative words. That means, as the sentence there is, this was hardly what I intended. Intended means I wanted. But as there is the negative word hardly, the meaning will be I did not intend this. Okay. I did not accepted this. I did not wish this. What I had meant, of course, was that I should boss the job. Here, when the narrator impressed the fact upon his two friends, the two friends readily accepted that. But actually, this was not intended by our narrator. What he wished that he should be the boss of the job, and his friends Harris and George should potter about under his direction. Okay, this was the wish of our narrator. He will be the boss of the job. What is the job? The job is packing. and his two friends will potter about. Potter about means they will do some unimportant things according to as the directions given by the narrator. I pushing them aside every now and then with, "Oh, you, here, let me do it. There you are, simple enough." Really teaching them, as you might say. And it was the wish of the narrator that um, he would have pushed them aside every now and then. Now and then means frequently, saying, "Oh, you, here, let me do it. You are not able to do it quite enough. Now, let me teach you. Like this. There you are, simple enough. This is very simple. Now, I can show you." This way, really teaching them, as you might say. You might say that, yes, I should have taught them. They are taking it in the way they did irritated me, and they accepted the thing in such a manner that irritated me, that bothered me. There is nothing does irritate me. There is nothing does irritate me more than seeing other people sitting about doing nothing when I am working. So the narrator here also said one thing, that if it's anytime he sees that he is working very hard while others are sitting relaxing, he cannot bear that. It makes him irritated. I lived with a man once who used to make me mad that way. Now the narrator is telling us a story. I lived with a man once who used to make me mad that way. Okay. As the narrator said that he cannot do his job or anything while he sees that other persons are relaxing. He cannot do. So that very thing happened once in his life, that a person who lived with him, he used to sit in a relaxing manner, and the narrator had to do a lot of things. He would loll on the sofa and watch me doing things by the hour together. The narrator experienced, the narrator shared his experience that the person with whom the narrator once used to live, he would loll on the sofa. And loll on the sofa means sit on the sofa in a relaxing manner, stretching legs, hands, etc., and watch me doing things by the hour together. He said it did him real good to look on at me messing about. And the person, he said that he liked the way the narrator walked, as if something is messing about. Messing about means it's a confusing thing. The narrator couldn't understand how the person, when he sees that the narrator is working, it makes him any good. The narrator doesn't understand this. Now, I am not like that. I can't sit still and see another man slaving and working. And if you talk about me, the narrator says that I am not like that person, that while other person is working, I am enjoying myself. I am not that kind of person. I can't sit still and see another man slaving and working. Okay. I want to get up and superintend. Superintend means I should be the boss. I should say, yes, do this, do that, etc. And walk around with my hands in my pockets. As I told you, he should be the boss of the job. He should walk around with his hands in his pockets and tell him what to do. It is my energetic nature. I can't help it. So the narrator's energetic nature is to superintend and to walk around with his hands in his pockets. Okay. He loves to tell the person what he should do. This is the narrator's energetic nature. I can't help it. I can't help it means there is no option that I should not do this. I can't help it means I am bound to do this. There is no option. However, I did not say anything but started the packing. Now, the narrator again back to the packing episode. In paragraph number 3, he shared with us his experience of living with a person who was very idle. He who just looked at the narrator while the narrator was working. But the narrator said that he cannot do such thing. He is a very energetic person. He cannot see a person is working while he is enjoying. Now he is back in his packing episode. However, I did not say anything but started the packing. It seemed a longer job than I had thought it was going to be. So the narrator started from paragraph number 2. You can see here that paragraph number 2, he said that they are taking it in the way they did irritated me. They did irritate me. That means that the two friends George and Harris accepted readily. It was something uncanny. The narrator already conveyed this idea to us. So the narrator said, however, I did not say anything but started the packing. It seemed a longer job I had thought it was going to be. The narrator anticipated that the job will not be very longer, but it was actually. But I got the bag finished at last and I sat on it and strapped it. After finishing the packing, I strapped the bag. Aren't you going to put the boots in? Said Harris. See, the story is a very funny one, and here the hilarious comedy starts. After he strapped the bag, his friend, one of his friends, Harris, he said, aren't you going to put the boots in? That means you haven't packed the boots. And I looked round and found I had forgotten them. That's just like Harris. That means Harris always does this. He should have told me earlier when I strapped the bag. Now he is saying me, okay, you have forgotten to pack the boots. He couldn't have said a word until I had got the bag shut and strapped, of course. And George laughed, one of those irritating, senseless laughs of his. Okay, so the narrator is very angry. When Harris said this, George laughed, and George's laughter was irritating, very irritating. And the narrator found that the laughter was senseless also. There was no meaning in his laugh. They do make me so wild, and his irritating laughter make the narrator. They made the narrator wild with anger. I opened the bag and packed the boots in. So now the narrator opened the bag and packed the boots in. And then, just as I was going to close it, a horrible idea occurred to me. Okay, so as the narrator just packed the boots and was about to close the bag, now a horrible idea occurred to the narrator. Had I packed my toothbrush? So this is the toothbrush episode now. Had I packed my toothbrush? I don't know how it is, but I never do know whether I have packed my toothbrush. The narrator said that I don't know how it happens, but every time whenever I am to pack, I always forget my toothbrush. My toothbrush is a thing that haunts me when I am traveling. This is the thing. The narrator says that his toothbrush is a thing that troubles him very much during his traveling, or you may say when he tries to pack, and makes my life a misery, and thereby it creates a kind of misery. Misery means sorrow. It makes the narrator's life full of sorrow. I dreamed that I haven't packed it, and wake up in a cold perspiration and get out of bed and hunt for it. So here students, you can see here the two words. Number one is haunt, as it is given in your book. The meaning haunt here means trouble. Now the second one is hunt for it. Hunt means to search. Okay, so he dreamt that he hadn't packed it and woke up in a cold perspiration. After waking up and getting out of the bed, he searched for the toothbrush. And in the morning, I pack it before I have used it. So again the blunder. At first he should have used the toothbrush, then he should have packed. But he didn't do that. In the morning, he packed it before he used and have to unpack again to get it. And it is always the last thing I turn out of the bag. And then I repack and forget it and have to rush upstairs for it at the last moment and carry it to the railway station wrapped up in my pocket handkerchief. So this is the blunder, this is the trouble that the toothbrush always gives to our narrator. What is the meaning? Let's see again. The narrator said that I pack it before I have used it and have to unpack again to get it. And it is always the last thing I turn out of the bag. That means it is the last thing. And then I repack and forget it. When the narrator opens the bag, he repacks it. That means the narrator unpacks the bag again to have his toothbrush, and he repacks the bag without putting that inside. He forgets it and has to rush upstairs for it at the last moment, as he has not repacked it. He has not put it in the bag, and he has to carry it to the railway station wrapped up in my pocket handkerchief. That means he has to carry his toothbrush wrapping up in his pocket handkerchief. So students, in this video up to paragraph number 5, in the following videos we will continue. Till then, goodbye.